Take off your shoes, right now. Feel the ground under your feet, the temperature, the texture, the slight give of earth or concrete or grass. Your body is already reading information it processes in less than a second. Moisture content, mineral composition, the exact hardness beneath your heel. You felt all of this before you could think about it. This is not sensation, this is measurement. And in that measurement, your nervous system is registering something that your shoes have been filtering out for your entire life. Your feet contain more mechanoreceptors per square centimeter than almost any other part of your body except your hands and lips. You have approximately 200,000 nerve endings in each foot, pressure sensors, temperature sensors, vibration detectors, all of them connected to your spinal cord and directly to your brain. When you walk barefoot, those 200,000 sensors per foot are sending real-time data about the ground back to your central nervous system at a rate of dozens of times per second. Your shoes, even thin ones, dampen this signal by a factor of at least 10. Most modern footwear dampens it by closer to 50, but this is just the beginning. The real mechanism is not in the feet themselves. The Earth's surface carries a consistent negative electrical charge, approximately negative 100 to 700 millivolts relative to the ionosphere above it. This is a measurement you can take with a voltmeter. The ground beneath your feet is literally a negative electrical environment. When you walk barefoot, your skin makes direct contact with this field. When you walk in rubber-soled shoes, you do not. Rubber is an insulator. It blocks this transfer. The moment your barefoot touches the earth, electrons begin transferring from the ground into your body. This is not metaphorical. This is charge transfer. Real electrons moving across the boundary of your skin. Your nervous system operates on electrical gradients. The resting potential of a neuron, the voltage difference across the cell membrane that allows it to fire, is roughly negative 70 millivolts. This is not arbitrary. This voltage difference is maintained by constant enzymatic work. Your cells are spending energy to keep this gradient in place. When you are grounded, when electrons from the earth are available to your tissues, your body has access to abundant free electrons that can buffer inflammation and neutralize free radicals. Free radicals are positively charged molecules that damage cell membranes and DNA. They accumulate during stress, inflammation, and metabolic stress. An electron from the ground can donate charge to a free radical, neutralizing it. This is called antioxidant action. But you have heard of antioxidants before. What you have not heard is that the Earth itself is performing this function continuously if you are in contact with it. Clint Ober, a retired cable television engineer, discovered this in the late 1990s. Ober was sitting on a park bench in New York City, and he noticed that he felt remarkably relaxed. He began to wonder if the problem with modern life, the constant background anxiety, the difficulty sleeping, the chronic inflammation that characterizes modern illness, might be partly due to our electrical disconnection from the Earth. He started sleeping on conductive mats that he connected to the ground port of his apartment building's electrical system. The ground port of an electrical outlet connects directly to the earth. His sleep improved, his chronic pain decreased. He began experimenting with other people. The results were consistent enough that he published a book called Earthing in 2010, and the idea began to spread through the alternative health community. The conventional scientific community was skeptical, and they were right to be. The evidence was anecdotal. No one had measured the physiological changes in a controlled setting. But between 2012 and 2019, a series of studies began to appear. Gaetan Chevalier at the University of California, Irvine, took people who were grounded and ungrounded and measured their heart rate variability, the variation in the time between heartbeats. Heart rate variability is a marker of autonomic nervous system function. A high heart rate variability indicates that your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, is well regulated and responsive. Chevalier found that within minutes of grounding, heart rate variability increased. The parasympathetic nervous system was becoming more active. The body was shifting into a state of rest and recovery. But there is a second mechanism operating at the same time, and it operates through inflammation itself. Inflammation is controlled by your immune system, and your immune system is exquisitely sensitive to electrical signals. White blood cells, the cells that drive inflammation, are activated by damage-associated molecular patterns, signals that tell the immune system a threat is present. These signals accumulate when cells are damaged by free radicals, by infection, by mechanical stress, by anything that breaks the integrity of cell membranes. The inflammatory response is necessary. Without it, you would die from infection. But in modern life, most people live in a constant low state of systemic inflammation because our environments expose us to continuous sources of free radicals: pollution, processed food, artificial light, chronic stress, shoes that isolate us from the earth. Free electrons buffer this process. They neutralize the free radicals before they can damage cells, which means fewer damage signals, which means less immune activation, which means less inflammation. This is the exact molecular mechanism that antioxidants provide: vitamin C, vitamin E, glutathione, except the earth provides them continuously and for free. When you ground yourself, your body gains access to an unlimited supply of electrons, and inflammation begins to decrease. This has been measured directly. Chevalier published a paper in 2013 in the Journal of Inflammation Research where he took people with high inflammatory markers, high C-reactive protein, which is a marker of systemic inflammation, and had them sleep grounded on conductive bedding for 8 weeks. At the end of the study, inflammatory markers had decreased by an average of 29%. Patients also reported improved sleep quality and reduced pain. The effect was measurable, reproducible, and larger than what you would expect from placebo alone. And here is where the story changes. Because the nervous system does not care whether the mechanism is inflammation or electrical charge or mechanoreceptor activation. The nervous system only cares about the output, and the output is a cascade. When you ground yourself, multiple systems activate simultaneously. Your heart rate variability increases, signaling that your parasympathetic nervous system is engaged. Your inflammatory markers decrease, which removes a chronic signal of threat. Your mechanoreceptors send detailed proprioceptive information back to your brain about your position in space and your relationship to the ground. All three of these signals converge on your limbic system and your autonomic nervous system. Your body receives a unified message: you are safe, you are connected, you are grounded, in the most literal sense. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body, extending from your brainstem all the way down to your gut. It carries about 80% of its information going downward from your brain to your organs, but 20% comes back upward. Those sensory fibers, the ones carrying information from your organs and your skin back to your brain, are exquisitely sensitive to the state of your body. When your body is inflamed, the vagus nerve detects that inflammation and signals to your brain that something is wrong. When your body is grounded and inflammation decreases, the vagus nerve detects the shift and signals safety. But there is a third layer here, and it is the one that explains the subjective experience of grounding that people report. That sense of calm, the feeling of being settled, the relief. Your skin contains specialized nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents. These fibers respond to slow, gentle touch, the kind of stimulation you get from walking barefoot on grass or sand. When these fibers are activated, they send signals directly to your insula, a region of your brain involved in interoception, the sensing of your internal body state. Activation of the insula creates a sense of embodiment, of being present in your body. It is the neural basis of what people describe as grounding, not metaphorically, but literally a state of heightened awareness of your body in relationship to the earth. James Oshman, a biophysicist who has worked extensively on the grounding hypothesis, proposed that when you walk barefoot, the visual system, the vestibular system, and the proprioceptive system all converge on a unified sense of connection to the ground. Your eyes see the horizon. Your inner ear senses orientation. Your feet sense pressure and texture. And all of these systems feed into your brain's model of self and space. When that model is updated with the information that you're in direct contact with the Earth, and that contact is associated with decreased inflammation and increased parasympathetic activity, something shifts. Your nervous system literally recalibrates. When you took off your shoes at the start of this, your feet were already reading the ground. Your 200,000 mechanoreceptors per foot were already sending signals. Your skin was already beginning to receive electrons. Your inflammatory state was already beginning to shift. Your parasympathetic nervous system was already moving toward engagement. Barefoot walking is not a trend. It is a reconnection, and your nervous system knows it immediately.